You are wasting your life. Not dramatically, not obviously, but quietly, consistently, in ways you have convinced yourself are harmless. You scroll when you could create. You complain when you could act. You wait for the right moment when the right moment was 3 years ago. You say tomorrow as if tomorrow is guaranteed. You distract yourself from discomfort as if discomfort is not the very thing that builds you. And slowly, invisibly, the days turn into months, the months into years, and one day you look up and realize you spent your entire life preparing to live instead of actually living. This is not about motivation. This is not about hustle culture or toxic productivity. This is about something the Stoics understood 2,000 years ago and that most people still refuse to face today. Your time is finite and you are spending it as if it is infinite. You are treating your life like a rough draft, like you will get another chance to rewrite it once you figure everything out. But there is no rough draft. This is it, right now, this moment, this day. And you are letting it slip through your fingers while you wait for conditions that will never be perfect. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in Rome, reminded himself every single morning that he could die that day. Not to be morbid, not to create fear, but to create clarity. Because when you remember that your time is limited, you stop wasting it on things that do not matter. You stop postponing what is important. You stop living as if you have forever. The Stoics called this memento mori, remember you must die. And it was not a depressing thought. It was the most liberating thought they ever had, because it forced them to ask the only question that actually matters. If my time is limited, how should I be spending it? Most people never ask that question. They drift. They react. They let other people set the agenda. They spend hours on things they will not remember in a week and ignore the things that could change their entire life. They say they do not have time to build their health, their skills, their relationships, their purpose. And yet somehow they have time to scroll for 3 hours, to binge entire seasons, to argue with strangers online, to worry about things they cannot control. The time is there. It is just being spent unconsciously, and unconscious living is wasted living. So let me ask you directly, what are you doing with your life right now? Not what do you wish you were doing, not what you plan to do someday. What are you actually doing today, this week, this month? Are you building something that matters to you, or are you just getting through the day? Are you growing, or are you stagnating? Are you living with intention, or are you living on autopilot? Because here is the truth the Stoics knew and that you need to hear. You do not get this time back. You do not get a second chance at today. Every hour you waste is an hour of your life you will never see again. And the worst part is most people know this. Deep down, they know they are wasting time. They feel it, that quiet discomfort, that nagging sense that they should be doing more, being more, creating more. But instead of acting on that feeling, they numb it. They scroll it away. They distract themselves until the feeling fades, and then tomorrow comes and the cycle repeats. This is how entire lives are wasted, not in one big decision, but in 1,000 small surrenders. 1,000 moments where you chose comfort over effort, distraction over focus, later over now. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote an entire essay on this. It is called On the Shortness of Life, and in it, he says something most people do not want to hear. It is not that we have a short life, but that we waste a lot of it. Life is long enough, and it has been given in sufficiently generous measure to allow the accomplishment of the very greatest things, if the whole of it is well invested. But when it is squandered through luxury and carelessness, when it is devoted to no good end, we realize it has gone, only when we are forced to leave it. Read that again. Life is long enough. You have been given enough time. The problem is not that you do not have time. The problem is that you are spending it poorly. You are giving your hours to things that do not deserve them. You are letting your attention be colonized by distractions that serve no purpose. You are living as if you have an unlimited supply of tomorrows, and you do not. None of us do. So what does it mean to stop wasting your life? It means waking up. It means becoming conscious of how you are spending your time and whether that spending aligns with who you want to become. It means making decisions based on your values, not your impulses. It means choosing the hard thing that builds you over the easy thing that numbs you. It means recognizing that every single day is an opportunity, and opportunities do not wait for you to feel ready. The first step is brutal honesty. You have to look at your life without excuses, without justification, without blaming circumstances or other people. Just look. How are you actually spending your time? Track it for 1 week. Write down everything, every hour, every distraction, every scroll session, every complaint, every moment spent waiting for something to change without doing anything to change it. And then ask yourself, if I keep living like this, where will I be in 5 years, 10 years? At the end of my life? If that question makes you uncomfortable, good. It should, because discomfort is information. It is your soul telling you that you are off course, that you are capable of more, that you are meant for more. But you will never access that more if you keep living in patterns that were designed for someone with unlimited time. You do not have unlimited time, and pretending you do is the most dangerous lie you can tell yourself. The Stoics were obsessed with the idea of living in accordance with nature, and part of that meant accepting your mortality, not in a depressing way, in a focusing way. When you accept that you will die, you stop treating your life like it does not matter. You stop wasting entire weekends. You stop putting off difficult conversations. You stop avoiding the work that scares you. You stop living in the future and start living in the present, because the present is all you actually have. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." He was not being morbid, he was being practical. He was reminding himself that every action, every word, every thought should be chosen as if it is the last one, not because it will be, but because it could be. And that possibility should change how you show up. It should change what you tolerate. It should change what you prioritize. So let me be direct. Stop waiting. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Stop waiting for the perfect plan. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for conditions to be ideal. They will never be ideal. There will always be a reason to delay. There will always be fear. There will always be uncertainty. But if you wait until all of that disappears, you will wait your entire life. And at the end, you will realize that you were always capable. You were always ready. You just never started. Starting is the hardest part, not because it is complicated, but because it forces you to confront the gap between who you are and who you could be. It forces you to admit that you have been wasting time, that you have been hiding, that you have been choosing comfort over growth. And that admission is painful, but it is also the beginning of change, because you cannot change what you do not acknowledge. You cannot grow from a place of denial. The Stoics did not believe in wasting time on regret. They believed in learning from the past and then releasing it. So if you have wasted years, do not spend more years being angry about it. Acknowledge it, learn from it, and then redirect. Today is the oldest you have ever been and the youngest you will ever be again. That means today is the perfect day to start. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not next year, today. And starting does not mean overhauling your entire life overnight. It means making one intentional choice, one choice that aligns with the person you want to become. Maybe it is waking up 30 minutes earlier to work on something that matters to you. Maybe it is saying no to a distraction you always say yes to. Maybe it is having the conversation you have been avoiding. Maybe it is finally taking the first step on the project you have been thinking about for years. It does not have to be perfect. It just has to be intentional. Because here is what most people do not realize. Small intentional choices compound. 1 day of intentional living does not change your life, but 100 days does. 1,000 days does. The problem is most people never get to 100 because they are waiting for the one big dramatic change. But life does not work that way. Life is built in moments. And if you waste the moments, you waste the life. Seneca also said, "Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life." Stop thinking of your life as one long continuous thing that you will eventually get around to living fully. Think of it as a collection of days, and each day is its own life. Each day you either live it well or you waste it. There is no neutral. There is no pause button. Every day you are either building or you are decaying. You are either moving toward the person you want to become, or you are drifting further away. So what does living well look like? It looks like clarity. It looks like knowing what matters to you and organizing your life around it. It looks like spending your time on things that align with your values, not your fears. It looks like building instead of consuming, creating instead of spectating, acting instead of waiting. It looks like being present in your own life instead of sleepwalking through it. It also looks like saying no to distractions, saying no to people who drain you, saying no to opportunities that do not serve your purpose, saying no to the parts of yourself that want to stay comfortable, because every yes to something meaningful requires 100 no's to things that are not, and most people are not willing to say those no's. They want to keep all their options open. They want to avoid discomfort. They want to please everyone. And in trying to do everything, they end up doing nothing that actually matters. The Stoics were ruthless about this. They knew that time was their most valuable resource and they guarded it fiercely. Seneca wrote, "People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy." You would never let someone walk into your house and steal your money, but you let people steal your time every single day. You let distractions steal your time. You let fear steal your time. You let indecision steal your time. And unlike money, you can never earn more time. Once it is gone forever. So protect it. Treat it like the finite, irreplaceable resource it is. Ask yourself before you do anything, is this worth my time? Is this moving me toward the life I want, or is this just filling space? Is this intentional, or is this automatic? And if the answer is that it is not worth your time, do not do it. It does not matter if everyone else is doing it. It does not matter if it is easy. It does not matter if it feels good in the moment. If it is not aligned with who you want to become, it is a waste, and you do not have time to waste. Now I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds exhausting. This sounds like I can never relax, like I have to be productive every second, but that is not what this is about. Rest is not wasting time. Rest is essential. Recovery is part of growth. The Stoics rested. They valued peace. They valued reflection. But there is a difference between rest and escape. Rest restores you. Escape numbs you. Rest is intentional. Escape is automatic. Rest leaves you feeling recharged. Escape leaves you feeling empty. So rest when you need to rest. But do not confuse numbing yourself with resting. Do not confuse scrolling for 3 hours with recovery. Do not confuse binge watching with relaxation. Those things are not rest. They are avoidance. And avoidance is just another way of wasting your life. Here is the truth most people avoid. You know what you need to do. Deep down, you know what you are avoiding. You know what you are postponing. You know what you should be building, learning, fixing, or releasing. The problem is not lack of knowledge. The problem is lack of action. And the reason you are not acting is because you are scared. Scared of failure. Scared of judgment. Scared of discomfort. Scared of finding out that maybe you are not as capable as you hoped. But let me tell you something the Stoics understood. Fear does not go away. You do not wait until you are not scared to act. You act while you are scared. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting in spite of fear. And every time you do, you prove to yourself that fear is not as powerful as you thought. You prove that you are capable, and that proof compounds. It builds confidence. It builds momentum. And momentum is what transforms lives. Marcus Aurelius faced fear every day. He was leading an empire during war, plague, and political chaos. He was scared, but he did not let fear stop him. He did not wait until he felt brave. He acted from principle. He did what needed to be done. And in doing so, he became one of the most respected leaders in history, not because he was fearless, but because he was disciplined. Because he refused to waste his life waiting for perfect conditions. You have that same choice. You can keep waiting. You can keep postponing. You can keep convincing yourself that tomorrow will be different. Or you can decide right now that you are done wasting time, that you are done living unconsciously, that you are done letting fear, distraction, and comfort dictate your life. You can decide that today, this moment, is when everything changes. Not because your circumstances changed, but because you did, because you finally woke up, because you finally realized that your life is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. And every single day you waste is a day you will never get back. So here is my challenge to you. For the next 7 days, live as if you only have 7 days left, not in a reckless way, in an intentional way. What would you do if you only had 1 week? Who would you talk to? What would you create? What would you stop tolerating? What would you finally start? Do that. Not someday. Now. Because the truth is, you do not know how much time you have. None of us do. And waiting for certainty is just another way of wasting the time you have left. The Stoics knew this. They lived with death in mind, not to be morbid, but to be free. Free from the illusion of infinite time. Free from the paralysis of perfectionism. Free from the trap of waiting. You are not going to live forever. Your time is running out, not eventually, right now. Every second you spend reading this is a second of your life. And when this is over, you have a choice. You can close this and go back to wasting time, or you can decide that enough is enough. That today is the day you stop drifting and start living. That today is the day you stop wasting your life. The choice has always been yours, and it still is.